Okay, we're starting the session on Philistine, as I call Palestine, and Kashmir. And the day after, I was saying, it refers to the Gaza ceasefire the day after. If it is a ceasefire, obviously, big discussion. But I also mean Article 370, which eliminated, as far as I understand, the autonomous status of Indian-occupied Kashmir. Trying to get my terminology right.
Okay, I am Dr. Mubeen Ahmed Shah. I am basically a doctor by education, but joined business a long time back in 1978, then became president of the Kashmir Chamber of Commerce, and then got into activism for Kashmir and was arrested by the Indian government when they removed this 370 article in August 5th, 2019. I was put in prison and for 4 months, and once I got released, I migrated to Turkey, took citizenship here, and I'm in Turkey now. I've left business. I'm doing completely 24 hours Kashmir activism. Hopefully, we'll make some changes. And at this point of time, we have an organization called Kashmir House in Turkey, whereas I'm now heading Kashmir Diaspora Coalition, which is having members in UK, in America, in South Africa, Turkey naturally. And I want to, keeping in view the discussions today, I want to structure Kashmir in eschatology of justice. And because Kashmir, Palestine, and the moral crisis of our time, because it is going to be important if we take it in that, structure it in this, because particularly based on the theme of this conference. So, distinguished scholars, honored organizer, respected panelists, and ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good day.
Wa alaikum salam.
It is an honor to participate in this important gathering where the world's crises are examined not only through political or strategic lenses, but through their moral, spiritual, and civilizational consequences. Today, I speak for Kashmir, but I do not speak of Kashmir alone. I speak also of Palestine because I want to compare the two. Because these two struggles, though geographically distant, are morally inseparable. First, I want to talk about why Kashmir belongs in an historical conference to bring the whole in the right perspective. Some may wonder why a territorial dispute, which unfortunately is a narrative artificially created by India, as it is often simplistically called, should be discussed in a forum concerned with the destiny of humanity and the moral order of the world. The answer is simple. Kashmir is not merely a conflict. It's a litmus test of global morality. It is where a population of more than 14 million people are living under one of the world's heaviest military occupations of about 1 million Indian army. Political freedoms have been systematically extinguished. Identity, land, demography, and culture are being re-engineered. International law has been openly violated without consequences. When such realities persist in full view of the international community, the question arises, what does this say about our collective moral state? What does it say about global governance, justice, and human destiny? These are eschatological questions because they concern the ultimate path humanity chooses, the path of justice or the path of oppression. Besides, it is an issue which, Allah forbid, can lead to a nuclear confrontation between two nuclear states, that is Pakistan and India. Why Kashmir and Palestine belong in this discourse? Eschatology asks the most uncomfortable questions of humanity. What happens when injustice becomes normalized? What is the moral cost of silence in the face of oppression? And what destiny awaits a world that applies justice selectively? Kashmir and Palestine are not merely political disputes. They are living tests of global conscience. In both cases, we witness prolonged occupation, denial of self-determination, militarization of civilian life, demographic engineering, criminalization of dissent, and the erosion of international law. If eschatology concerns the final moral reckoning of societies, then Kashmir and Palestine stand at the center of that reckoning. Two territories, one pattern of injustice. Let us be clear. The parallels between Kashmir and Palestine are not rhetorical, they are structural. This Jewish state, which is in a way has become a Zionist state, while as India has become a Hindutva state under Modi rule and has the same and similar ideology of way of working. Palestine lives under occupation, apartheid-like control and annexation of land. Kashmir lives under one of the heaviest military occupations in the world. In August 2019, India unilaterally annexed Jammu and Kashmir, dismantling its autonomy in violation of international law. In Palestine, annexation and settlement expansion continue with impunity. In both cases, facts are created on the ground while the world debates terminology. Demographic engineering, modern colonialism. In Palestine, settlements fragment the land and displace its people. In Kashmir, new domicile and land laws are designed to permanently alter the region's demographic character. This is not security policy. It is colonial engineering updated for the 21st century. When identity itself becomes a target, the conflict ceases to be territorial and becomes existential. The human reality behind the headlines. Behind every UN resolution and media headline lies human suffering. Palestinian children in Gaza and Kashmiri children in Srinagar grow up amid soldiers, drones, and curfews. Mothers in Palestine and Kashmir grieve without justice. Thousands remain imprisoned without due process. Journalists, lawyers, and civil society leaders are silenced. Faith, whether expressed in mosques in Jerusalem or Kashmir, is restricted, surveilled, or politicized. This is intergenerational trauma, not collateral damage. The silence of the word. Perhaps the most painful similarity between Palestine and Kashmir is not the occupation itself, but the global response. International law exists, but enforcement is selective. Human rights are championed, but conditionally. UN resolutions are passed, but rarely implemented. This silence is not neutrality, it is moral abdication. And eschatology reminds us, silence in the face of injustice is itself a form of complicity. The narrative war. Another shared background is language. Palestinian resistance is labeled terrorism. Kashmiri self-determination is branded extremism as well as now terrorism. This deliberate delegitimation serves one purpose: to strip occupied people of moral legitimacy before stripping them of land and rights. Correcting this narrative is not activism, it is historical responsibility. The astrological lens, power, justice, and accountability. All eschatological tradition teach us the same core truths. Power is temporary, tyranny carries consequences, justice, though delayed, is inevitable. Kashmir and Palestine remind us that oppression is never stable. It accumulates moral debt and history always collects. When injustice is allowed to persist in these two places, it signals a broader collapse of moral order, one that will not remain contained. What Kashmir and Palestine ask of the world: neither people ask for charity, neither ask for sympathy alone. They ask for justice. Justice means ending occupation and annexation, halting demographic engineering, releasing political prisoners, ensuring accountability for human rights violations, restoring political agency, respecting the right of people to decide their own future. This is not radicalism, it is international law. A shared message of resilience. Despite decades of dispossession, neither Kashmiris nor Palestinians have surrendered their dignity. Their resilience is rooted in faith, memory, lawful struggle, and the unshakable belief that injustice cannot outlive truth. History shows us that moral endurance ultimately outlasts military power. Closing reflection, a moral compass for humanity. Let me conclude with this reflection. The measure of a civilization is how it treats the oppressed. The measure of global governance is how it resolves injustice. And the measure of our moral destiny is how we respond to Palestine and Kashmir. These are not peripheral issues, they are central moral tests of our time. If the world fails here, it fails everywhere. But if it stands for justice here, it restores faith in humanity's future. May this conference be remembered as a moment where conscience prevailed over convenience, and justice our silence. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Mubeen. That was very succinct and hopefully opens up the eyes and ears of people to what's been happening since partition, independence and partition.